That's astonishing. It's absolutely world class. Drama from day one. This is the league we want to watch. Only football can make you feel like this.
I think it's all over. It is now.
Another big thing about the last week of results is a couple more VAR decisions. I know we said last week that we'll probably be talking about this again in a week's time, and we are. I mean, the Tottenham v Leicester game, Son scores a goal with Harry Kane in offside position. Was he in an offside position where the keeper couldn't see him? But then you have an Everton game, and I can't. Who scored for Everton? And it was ruled off. Was it Sigurdsson in an offside position?
I think it was Sigurdsson in an offside position, I believe.
Yeah, I can't remember who scored, but I know it was against United.
So I will say this. I mean, I can kick it off. So yes, you have two situations where there's a shot, there's a deflection, and a striker from the attacking team, the striker is in an offside position. In the Man United Everton game, the striker is in a position that could be blocking the view of the keeper. In the Leicester Tottenham game, Kane is off to the side of the ball and is not blocking the view of the ball. Like the keeper can literally see the ball coming at him. Well, it's a deflection. So he's already dove to the side and then deflects, but Kane is not blocking his view of the ball. He saw it the whole way through, but there's no way he could have reacted to get it.
I disagree vehemently with that, and here's why.
Okay.
United keeper, when in the Everton United game,
Yep.
the player in outside position was actually on the ground, sitting down, and a keeper was standing. The keeper had the angle to see the ball. The ball reflected off the defender, and keeper just couldn't get it. I mean, yes, the person that was in outside position lifted his leg so the ball can go through, but with that small exception, he could see the ball and he could judge the trajectory of it. In the Spurs game, Kane was actually running, and he was upright standing, which I think is just blocks the view a lot more than if you're sitting down with the angle that you have. That's just, my opinion on it. And I don't know if it's outside or not. I think what we discussed last week, I wish there is just consistency, right?
Yes.
It's not fair that, I mean, it's just, Spurs got it, Spurs got lucky, I think, but it's not fair that one goal is ruled offside while the other one isn't. It's not fair that Son kicks out at a guy and gets a red card, but where Harry Maguire does the same thing where he's falling and lifts the boot up in the guy's junk. Oh, it was protecting the fall. It's not fair. And I'm not saying United gets all the calls, but I am insinuating it.
I think with the Tottenham goal, I think Harry Kane was offside when he shot it, but Schmeichel was already diving to his left when Kane then got in the way. So I think that's why VAR, I agree, I'd want the consistency there, and it wouldn't have surprised me if they did rule the goal out. Obviously, I was happy that they didn't, but it's frustrating for a number of reasons just because of the inconsistency. And like you said about the Son and Maguire incident a few months ago, Johnny Evans should have been sent off because he punched out at Harry Kane. That's violent conduct.
I missed that.
And VAR had a look at it, and his fist comes back and then goes back in a punch-in motion towards Harry Kane's face. And granted, when you slow it down, it looks bad. We all know that. But if that's not violent conduct, I don't know what is. And then he fouled Eric Lamela at the end of the game, and they gave a free kick for Leicester.
You can agree that Kane has a punchable face. So
Lamela too.
Lamela
does. Lamela does. Yeah, it's annoying when one team does the exact same thing and gets the goal, they do another thing and it's disallowed. So I think we all agree that the consistency needs to dramatically improve.
And what I think is that the teams that are not top six teams, I think they get the shaft more often than the teams that are top six. And I think that's that's what gets me, is that whether it's Chelsea that gets the calls against lower teams or whether it's United, I do think it happens a lot more often where these top 6 teams that are considered in Premier League tend to get the calls their way versus mid-table to lower table teams. And I think that's the frustrating part. Because I do think that there's a certain amount of elitism and favoritism going on with certain clubs, especially and when it's certain match officials there. So I don't know what the, FA is doing about it. I don't know if they're tracking these statistical changes where they're trying not to get those referees in to ref the games where they make more errors than usual. But I think it's something that needs to be looked into. Because I agree with you, Steve. It's the last thing I would want is for my team to be associated with some sort of cheating, even if and United has that history. What was that guy's? What was that bald ref's name?
Howard.
That favored United. He retired. Yeah, I mean, it's just like
Howard or something like that.
Stigma. Yeah, I think so. That stigma just carries on, and I think my biggest thing with United getting away with this VAR stuff is I think it carried on from even back then. And I don't know. I'm not trying to be I'm a Chelsea fan and I hate everything United does. I do, but at the same time, I do think lower teams get shafted more often than not.